dear audience, hope you would be fine. In this short video, we would be talking about the othering and what is othering, the process of othering, what are the traits of othering, and then we would be discussing it about in the our novel, The Train to Pakistan. So first we define the process of othering. Othering is basically the phenomena in which some individuals or the groups are defined and labeled as not fitting to the norms and the standard or to the social group. It is an effect that basically influences how people perceive and treat those who are not viewed as being the part of the in groups and the out groups. The process of othering involves the formation of in groups and out groups, us versus them, and the situation that they are not like me, they are not one of us. Means we process some people or the community as others. So, othering also involves attributing negative characteristics to the people or the groups that differentiate them from what are perceived as the normative social groups. And similarly, it is an us versus them, the situation way of thinking about the human's connection and the relationship. This process essentially involves looking at the others and saying that they are not like me or they do not belong to us. So, othering is a way of negating others' presence as individual in the humanity, and consequently, those who have been othered has seen as less worthy, dignity, and less respectful as well. On an individual level, otherings play a very important role in the formation of prejudices against the people and the groups. On the larger scale, it can also play a role in the dehumanization of the entire group of the people, which can be exploited to drive changes in the institutions, governments, and the societies. For example, though America claims as a very some sort of humanistic and democratic state, but still people over there have different their group identities, and that while they act also against in the sense of violence against one another. So othering may be some sort of an antonym of the belongings as well. In the sense of belonging, we prove that these people belong to us. Uh, in a democratic states, basically, when we take the concept of states, basically, states treats all citizens as the equals, but within that situation of the state still in groups, and the process of othering operates. So, what can be the signs of the otherings? Now we come to the signs of othering, attributing positive qualities to the people who are like you, and negative qualities to the people who are different from you. And then believing that people are different from you, are your social groups pose a threat to you, the other to your ways of life. For example, if America has constructed the Afghan people or the Taliban as their others, so America constantly feels a threat and considers Taliban as a threat to their existence and different from them as well. And then the third trait of sign of othering is that feeling distrustful or upset when the people of the social groups, even though you don't know anyone from that group. For example, every American does not know every single Taliban. Every American has never been in contact to the Afghani and the Taliban people, but still every American consider every Taliban as the other and out of his group as well. And then refusing to interact with the people because they are different from you are your social group. Definitely, Americans are not going to accept uh, the people from Afghanistan into their social spheres as well. I'm not stick to only this type of the example that America and the Taliban, but I mean Afghanistan, Afghani people, but Hindu and Muslims, and even in the Muslim among the Muslims, we treat some people as others. The people from Balochistan are the Sindh. They might be our others, as we might not be perceiving some significant socially inclusive approach to them. And then thinking of the people only in the terms of their relationship with specific to social groups without giving any thought to them as the individual. So this phenomena often happens without conscious efforts or even awareness. People feel biased based on what they presume is the norm. While othering is sometimes apparent, it is often function as an almost invisible barrier that keeps people who are seen as outsider from accessing opportunities and acceptance. So now we talk about these means the process of thinking people as outgroups, rejecting their acceptance on some job and the particular understanding with that of our reference novel, The Train to Pakistan. We see that before the partition, the people, though they were different, they were Hindus, they were the Muslims, and there were the Sikhs as well, and they were living in a social situation. Keep in mind that the social situation basically is a very great canvas where it accepts the all people as equal citizens and equal humans. One is the social scaling. Uh, Before going further, social situation is basically the larger situation which at the same time deters and resist all sort of the social discriminations as well. Means the sense of commune or communities basically that develops that we all the people belongs to the same community. But at the same time, the word commune, when it is taken in its restrictive, reductive, antisocial element, the word commune, it becomes negative and it becomes a site of the othering for the people as well. For example, in a classroom, every student is equal to the policies of the school and to that of the policies of the state. But when the social discrimination is being practiced in the classroom, then this classroom at the same time becomes a site or a situation of othering. A site of othering. Site means SIT, site means place where the process of othering happens. So before partition, in the social situation of Hindustan, all the peoples, Hindu, Muslim, and the Sikhs, they were living in a very equal situation. Though there was, I never claim that they were not uh, there were not the differences. There was not the process of othering. Yes, there might be the process of othering as we are unable to cross our religious boundaries. We are unable to cross our the race, color, and all that. But this was not as visible as in the post-partition times. Means before partition, Hindus and the Muslims they were living a very happy life, and even they were loving with one another. For example, Juga is having a love relationship with a Muslim girl, Noura. So it might be taken as an example that there was not some sort of the religious discrimination or the process of otherings on the name of religion. If Nora and Juga is in love before partition, it means that they can be taken as a representative of their communities as well. Means that Hindu and the Muslims have been living a very safe life. And in the novel, before partition, we don't see any such incident which might be of the communal violence, but the same situation after partition, Hindu and the Sikh and the Muslim, they were converted into the enemy of one another, and they denied their access to the social spheres, and even the Sikhs were trying to evacuate the Muslims from the village by the threats that, oh, Muslims, you are not safe over here, so go by yourself to the Pakistan. Pakistan is a safe country for you. And then the massive killing on that train to Pakistan was basically the sense of the communal and speaking voice of that process of otherings. Hindus and the Sikhs, they have closed their borders and the human social significance. From the human social significance, I mean that man where lives, he creates a sense of development, belonging, association, attachment to those people and the places. Muslims were having strong links in the India, but due to the pressure of these Sikh and the Hindus, they were forced to leave those situations, and those Hindus and the Muslims who have been living in the Pakistan, they were forced and bound to leave their territory as well. So even the situation of even migration is the evident example of this social othering across the borders. And then massive killing on the train is another example of this. And then though there was a situation when some Sikh people uh, uh, gather together, and they say that the Muslims have raped the Sikh woman and the Hindu woman, so we should have to take the revenge of that. There were a lot of the Sikh youngsters who did that. That every Muslim have not committed this crime. Then why should we have to kill the other innocent Muslims? But there were the people who just raised that every Muslim is the brother to the Muslim, so we have to take the revenge from every Muslim. Whosoever is the Muslim is the culprit, and we should have to take the revenge from the Muslim. So this is basically this othering uh, arose from the individual level to the community level and to the massive level, and ultimately this massive killing has been practiced across the borders, on the train as well. Even uh, one more thing, that it was not that that killing, the act of killing, but what the hatred, even after this passing out of the 75 years, that hatred from the Muslims and the Hindus has not been erased. Even in the present time, the we are biased to Hindus, and Hindus are biased to the Muslims. Muslims are biased to the Sikhs, and the Sikhs are the biased to the Muslims. It never means that currently we are biased, but that the situation of 1947 is still inculcated and still residing in our memories, in our conscious memories. We are brothers, we are humans. It's not that we claim that Muslims are brothers to the Muslims, but my stance is that human is brother to the human. So we should have to keep our religious or the national, or are these our identities as at the secondary level, and the humanhood at the primary level. And this process would be helpful in developing a universal situation, a phenomena of brotherhood and the peace as well. So the process, each and every line which relates to the post-partition times in the train to Pakistan, uh, is the line or the discourse dealing with the situation of otherings on the part of the Hindus, Sikhs, and the Muslims. I'm not going to defend that the Muslims, that the Muslims have been doing the killing over there, but on this name of the religious identities and the process of othering. So, in post partition times, the situation of othering crossed the barrier of individual and converted into a killing of the massive level. It became a canvas of othering, and so millions people across the borders have been killed, which was a sad demise of the history as well. With this, I think everything is clear. Goodbye. If you have any question, you may ask me. I would be there to answer your questions. Thank you very much.